The church had its origin around 1928, where it was organized as Silver Valley Union Sunday School. That was under the supervision of American Sunday School Union, which is an organization that plants churches in rural America and has since about 1790. The Sunday school petered out at that time and was reorganized again in 1935 as the Newberry Union Sunday School. It too had its ups and downs, but there was a resurgence of interest in 1953, and by 1955 you find the formal incorporation of Newberry Community Church. A couple of the names that stand out to me the most as founders of the church, one is Esther Beecham. She was a woman in the community that had a vision for Sunday school, and she gave lots of effort to that. Her husband, Abbott Beecham, became a leader in the church. Another name that stands out of importance is Slim Allen, who was a well driller in the community, and he exercised leadership. John and Elizabeth Mason also were stalwarts of the early church. The church started out, as I understand, meeting in a chicken coop at Abbott Beecham's place. Formal church services were held for a time in Newberry Elementary School. And then around 1953, a family in the church donated property down along what is now Interstate 40. And there the first church buildings were built. And the church met there for a number of years. Somewhere in the mid-1960s, the first buildings here at our present property were started. That included what was the first sanctuary, and now is our fellowship hall, and a wing of Sunday school classrooms. As that facility was outgrown, somewhere in the early 80s, the church began work on a sanctuary, and I'm sitting here in this sanctuary, and it was completed and dedicated in January of 1983. Not too long after our present pastor, Vaughn Ulm, came, we recognized a need for additional facilities, especially for children's ministry. And so we began planning and work on our family center, which includes a gymnasium-type room and several classrooms and a good kitchen. That work was begun probably in the late 80s and was concluded about 1994. When it comes to reaching out to the world, we support and partially support 13 different missionary couples and give support to another organization. That mission support takes at least a quarter of our annual budget as a church. We're committed to missions in that way. Considering outreach in the future, right now we're seeking to expand our ministry to men. Similarly, we'd like to expand our ministry to those who are facing various addictions and struggles, a recovery ministry. We also are concerned about young adults, young singles. We seem not to do real well at reaching to them. I'd like to just summarize the things that I've told you. If you look over our history, it's plain that God has had his hand on our church. He has raised up people who are faithful, and there are stalwart individuals, families, and leaders that have been faithful to God, faithful to his work, faithful to his word, faithfully proclaiming the truth, giving of themselves, serving, loving, and we're grateful for all of those people in our past and the ones that are here a part of the church now. In the nearly 60 years that the church has been incorporated, there have only been 5 pastors serving continuously, and the first one was short because of his life was cut off early. But the present pastor has been here for almost 29 years, and he's been a faithful man. All these things together, faithful people and our faithful God, are foundational principles for what Newberry Community Church has been and what we hope it will be until Christ comes again.